Hey, it's Dave from Bullpen Cycles. Behind this van, we have our most expensive purchase ever. And I'm not talking like fancy motorcycle purchase. I'm talking like small house money. These two bikes, each separately, would be like Rough Superior money, Vincent Rapide money, and together, it was a small house. Want a hint? Well, they are hand built. They made 38, and in 1977, one would have set you back 5,500 pounds, which converted for dollars, adjusted for inflation, would be about $40,000. That doesn't sound crazy today. But this was 1977. As I said, they made 38 originally. They're powered by a car motor. And no, not Boss Hoss type stuff. Think Floyd Clymer Monk Mammoth. That'd be my closest comparison. Because the Monk Mammoth was powered by an NSU motor. An NSU car motor. And this, well, it's got an NSU-ish car motor in it, adapted to a superbike frame, hand built, made to order, but they're not German. They're Dutch. Want to learn more? Let me move the van. And that's a hint. Move the van. That's like a crazy dad joke. But anyway. The Van Veen. No, you're not drunk and seeing double. That's two Van Veens. Of the 38 produced, that might be 7% of the total production run. These are number 19 and 21. So although they are close in production, there are differences between the two. Let's find out more. Hey, Inga. Alright, here we got, this is the book, the owner's manual, and it's got this note, and I can't read that. In the hope that you are, and I don't know, the manual's in Dutch. I have some of it converted to English and some English technical literature and blueprints. See if there's a copyright when the book was produced. Nope. Here's sales literature. Now Van Veen, that was a fellow, he was an importer for Kreidler, which I think were German, small displacement. This gives you a history. Hendrik van Veen. Businessman. Okay, I've got Dutch and English. There's the Kreidlers. Prototype, early development. Copyright on this was 1980, and I think they went bankrupt by 81. Now this review was in September of 76. Chosen was a motor newly developed by Co-Motor Luxembourg, set up by NSU Germany and Citroën. It's actually a twin rotor. Says there's no more than 4 gears because the torque of this motor delivers 98 foot-pounds at only 3,500 RPM. Marzocchi forks, magnesium wheels, Brembo brakes. Here's where it says 5,500 British pounds in 1977. This is technical information from 78. So near as I can tell, they made these from 75 to 81, built to order. They produced 38 and folded in 81. So let's get one of those bikes on the lift and see what they look like. I just put this on the lift. A little bit of a chore. 750 pounds. My goal here is to give it a once over, introduce myself and I guess y'all to this bike, and lift the tank off, look at the motor, oil it, make sure it still turns over. This is a twin rotor developed by Co-Motor, which I think was a joint venture between NSU, Audi, and Citroën. The forks are Marzocchi. Looks like 42 millimeter. Brembo brakes. Looks like they might be sticking. They have the bolt out of them. That one's just hanging there. This is something different. This milled riser here for the crankcase breather. My other one doesn't have that. Looks like it might have been added, but I can't imagine it was added without consultation. Not nuts about the braided breather line. Some linkage here that isn't hooked up. It's a little sketchy. This bike was said to have been owned by Malcolm Forbes. Somewhere I'm supposed to have documentation. Looks like Coney rear shocks showing 8,800 miles, so it's been driven. This came out of Sam Costanzo's estate. He was the rotary First it was Rotary Cycles of Ohio, and then it became Rotary Recycles. Number of new old stock parts, some of which are cosmetic. Came with a new radiator core in a box, I don't know why. A couple of hoses. Here's a braided line too, I wonder what that's all about. This looks unfinished, but that's actually correct. There's no kicker on these. You're not going to kick a twin Wankel rotor. I don't want to be hooking electric to it right away, so we're going to try to jack it up, take the spark plugs out, turn it gently in gear. Let me show you something that I think is sort of cool. This is what powers it. It's a 2-barrel Solix carburetor. Now Solix, you'd see something like that on a Peugeot or Citroën, except for this application you won't have a primary or a secondary. You're going to be just 2 1-barrels. It's got 2 butterfly setups. One down here, one up here. One, I guess, is for air, fuel, well, and one's for fuel, I guess. This might be new since it's plugged. There's the fuel filter setup right here. I wonder if it's a pump. I'm not sure. Well, if any of you guys can read Holland Dutch, that'd be a big help. Came with new set of pipes, although I don't see anything wrong with these. They weigh a ton. I think they're like triple walled. Here's another. Cover. Huh. Wonder what that is. Big honkin' fuse? I don't know. So, the key to these is go slow. And that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so the side covers come off with a simple Zeus fitting. They drop down. Left and right rotor coil. Bush Jaeger Electro. Not Bosch, Bush. I don't know if that's German or Dutch. Looks like German. Danger, high voltage. So here's the transmission, which looks to be wholly separate from the engine. Here's the spark plug for the left rotor, and there's the one for the right rotor. Well, that'll be easy to oil up. Looks like voltage rectifier, regulator, flasher maybe? This looks like an oil injection line. So yeah. Hey, where's the oil tank? I'm gonna guess I'll have another one of those on the other side. Let's guess. Yeah, can't really see in there. Maybe it's on the right side of the left intake.
wonder where the two-stroke, well, not two-stroke, but I wonder where the oil reservoir is. And if this is hydraulic clutch, what's the sensor? There's another one of those crazy connectors in there. They're wild. Well, one thing is good. Well, one thing, at least one thing. Thankfully, one thing. One thing, last resort. I don't know. One thing is good. Here is my blueprint. Oh, look at that. That link is just, it's a stop. Anyway, I have a blueprint to look at. Little bit different. Look at that, same braided transmission line for the clutch. So this one has 300 miles on it. So I have a poor man's blueprint, or should I say maybe a rich man's blueprint. All right, so this here is a water pump, because I found this in a box of stuff. I'm gonna suspect it's used because there's this gasket on it, but I don't know. And this has some type of sensor on it, and that would be in line with the rotor for a crankshaft sensor, so to speak. But what's this down here? Is that my oil reservoir? I don't know. But I'm not just gonna yank that off. Could be some timing situation there. Alright, so I took the right side cover off. Is that an alternator? Not sure. But man, this gets sketchier the more that I look at it. Someone was in here before. These items are not plugged in. It doesn't look like they would reach. There's 1, 2, 3. Now this is a double, so maybe it only hits one. I'm gonna guess that's an alternator. Next, we're gonna see what the mice left us in the air box. And I think when they redid this breather, they put that goofy line in there. Wonder why they did that. They went to a lot of trouble to do that. Clients Bullpen casting. I don't know. Looks interesting. Sorry, I can't do it one-handed. I don't know. Some kind of Dutch first aid kit, maybe? Look at this crazy rear master cylinder. Okay, not that the brake switch is up in the cat, or that it's mounted backwards. Looks like it clamps on here, but here's a plunger. It goes on to a brake pivot, which is shafted to the other side. And here's a brake switch.
No, that's not a brake switch. What's that? That's a wire. This is the brake switch. So what's that? I don't know. That's going up into somewhere. Maybe it's a safety switch of some kind. That's pretty weird. Oh, there, whatever. It's in the train, so maybe it's neutral safety. Okay, so I figured that out. That's a fuel pump. And I'm gonna guess that solenoid might be kind of a petcock. Okay, so this splice is for the fuel pump. It took a double wire and spliced it, so they must have replaced that at some point. Okay, so every time I look at this, I see more weird stuff. Look at all these grounds. It's like for every circuit, did they run a separate ground? Okay, here's a ground. Here's a ground. Are these both positive? But boy, they have to run a separate wire for every circuit ground to bring it to a common point? That's crazy. Ooh, here's another something. What's that? McMaster car, RE5 hardware. Hex nuts. Eh. Oh, we gotta look in here. Give me a minute. Well, it's off. That looks lovely, huh? At least they sealed it up. Maybe the boot shrank. Can't imagine that's factory. So, what kind of mice turds do we see? Excuse me. A whole truckload of breathers. Pretty clean. What does that say? Bullpen perolator, made in West Germany. Now, how does that come out? Looks like it might come out carefully. So maybe they disconnected those hoses because they had the carburetor off. And that would explain the spare carburetor. I wonder if you have to bleed the cooling system when you put it back together. I should probably pressure test that. Take it to a radiator shop. Might have to pull them carburetors anyway to make sure they're clean. Two solenoids there, one on each. Intake. And what the heck is that big rubber hose? Oh, that goes through the other side into the bottom of the radiator between the intake manifold. Lovely. And I see this line here. I have not found one on the other side yet. and it couldn't be in the middle there because it would get pinched off by that crazy radiator hose. Oh wait, that's open air. Excuse me, what the heck is that? That's not oil injection. Open air? Why only on one side? What's on the other side? Can I see it yet? Oh, I know what. We'll look at the spare. Okay. It's only on one side. I wonder if this carburetor... Now, this carburetor setup doesn't look new because there's gasket material on the intake. So, maybe that one's new. And they just put all the plugs back in here? I don't know. So, this is going to be a sorted tale over several videos, I'm afraid. Maybe we'll have to get the other one running at some point. It'll be easier. But this will help me get familiar with it. We're going to go very slow. If you want to watch the progress, just hit that subscribe button. Follow this sorted tale. And check out our other interesting projects as we go along, because this one's going to be slow. That's all. It's Dave from Bullpen Cycles, and thanks for watching.